turn it on. Doesn't start. Water inlet. Well, you know what? Okay, hold on. There's a way to see if the pump is working. Let me go get the service manual. I think you push this. I think that's the water inlet. I think that's the water inlet button and it's not working. So let's see. Okay, so Tuttnauer EA 2540 or 2540 EA was not filling up properly. What I did was holding the button. Well, first you could test it by pushing this thing in and holding it. And there was some water, you'd hear the solenoid click, and then a little bit of water was coming out, like not nearly enough. It would take 2 minutes to fill up. It was barely filling. So I guess it could be a blockage. So I took the cover off. Here's the pump down here. Pump is right here. So what I did was I cut off the little zip tie that was holding it on to the barb fitting. And then I ran it again. And I took a little cup. And I pushed the button to simulate filling the chamber. And only a very little bit of water was coming out of here. So that means all the piping after here is okay. So it's either the pump or the tubing leading into the pump. So I have to assume in our case it's the pump because the pump was making a pumping noise. You know, sorry, when it was filling up. And now it doesn't make any noise at all. So what I did was I ordered a new pump. I'm going to replace it. Okay, this just popped right out of here. I don't know if you can see that. Get the light. So I unplugged this so I could get to it, but unfortunately, there is not a lot of play back here. So you got to take, there's 4 wires on here. I labeled the top one, the top 2. The bottom 2 are red. I think those are the power. The top 2, I believe, go to the capacitor, which is this blue thing attached over here. Unfortunately, to get to this, I think you have to take this whole thing off because I can't, there's not a lot of slack. The rubber tubing that attaches to the inlet of this is this rubber tubing right here. Not this, this rubber tubing down here. I don't know if you can see. That rubber tubing down there comes from the copper and it makes a loop around there and it attaches over here, but it's tight. I can't pull this out even a little bit. It would be nice if I could pull it out 5 or 6 inches. I could do the connections, push it back in, and that's it. But can't do that. So I have to either take the top, probably the easiest way is to take this top thing off. But this is not easy. So in order to take this off, these are all compression fittings. You just unscrew these and they're flared. It comes off. And there was one over here also. On the bottom, that was a hard one to get to, the compression fitting there. And this is actually where this had a rubber hose that went around like this and to the inlet side of the pump, okay? Now, what was really rough to get off was this was held on by 2 screws like this. They were regular, not Phillips, they were flat-headed screws. The one on the outside was very easy to get to. The one on the inside was right up against, picture this, the sterilization chamber is right here, about this close, it's pretty much touching. So there was no way to get way down here to a screw. One of my assistants with very small hands and very good eyes, I had a light and she was able to take, I have an L-shaped flat blade screwdriver, and she was able to start it enough so that she could take a wrench and I was able to finish it off and take that off. What I wound up doing to replace that was I went to the store, and of course they matched up the threads, but they didn't have anything the right size. So I actually cut this, I cut something down. So now I have something that will be a little bit easier to put back, all I have to do is put some tape on the inside of this, kind of tape it in like so. Now it will be held by this. I can thread it down when I have it into position and hopefully get it to approximately the right spot, and then I can start it, whatever, and you know, you get the idea. Hopefully that will get in there. Other things you had to do besides the compression fittings is I had to cut the wires to the low water sensor. Hold on, let me screw this in. The low water sensor is, come on, right here. And when they give you a new one, they give you a crimp fitting. There were a couple of spade connectors, but I was too lazy, so we actually just cut it. I put these on in my house, and I'm gonna strip the other side when I get to the office, put them in, crimp it together, and that'll be connected again. So again, you have to take this out in order to get to the pump, at least on my 2530 EA. Okay, now this pump was not working. I ordered, here's the deal, new pump from this company. These are made for coffee makers also. You can buy a pump from this company for about $50, this pump. They're located in Canada, and who knows how long it would take to get it. Because I needed it quickly, I had to go to an autoclave company, and they sell it for $120, exact same item. Okay, so I paid $120 plus 2 days shipping, another 40 or 50, so it cost $200 for a $50 part. And then when I got home, I said, gee, let me play with it and see if I can take it apart and see if I can fix it. And I hate to say it, but I did. All right, so the way you take something like this apart, I don't know if you can see in there, you unscrew this thing right here. So let me unscrew this. I'll show you what it looks like. So unscrewing this, come on. I'm gonna break it again. Doesn't matter, I have another one on order. It's just this little piece right here. Underneath it is a spring, maybe. A spring with a little black piece that sits down in there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little black piece, okay? Black piece with a spring. That's 2 parts. If you unscrew this, and I unscrewed it all, I took it apart and I cleaned it all out, and now it's working. So just 2 short screws, 1, 2. There's 1 screw. Come on. 2. This pulls out. All right, this is magnetic. All right, you can feel the magnet in there. Next thing is this pulls out. Let's see if I can pull it out. Forgot how it came out. But I didn't change any gaskets. There's a gasket over here. Let's see, there we go. All right, so open this up. There's a white spring in there. Look in there, it's clean. Put the spring back in. This is magnetic, this piece. Solid magnet right there. Gasket, gasket. This probably unscrews, but I'm going to screw it back in. All right, so let's put this back in here. There's a little ball in there also. Let's put the ball in there. Put this in, and it goes, there's 2 little tabs here. Pushes in and turns 90 degrees, which way? Total locks, right there. That's locked in, I think. Yep, all right, locked in. Shove it back in here. Put them back in, the screws. I'll show you how it works, which maybe now it doesn't, but hopefully it does. Get in there. There we go. 1, 2. All right, I'm gonna see if I can put this straight in there. And then we'll see if we can put this. Screw it all the way down. Okay. It doesn't stop. I think this just gets to a point and then it's in there. Anyway. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how I made this. This is just a test. This is an old extension cord. I put a couple of plugs on the end, crimped a couple of these things on. So here's one, here's two. I don't think it matters which way you put these. What I'm gonna do, here's an inlet. I'm gonna get some water. Let's get a little bowl of water. I'll get my dog's bowl. Let's see. My dog's bowl of water. So what I'm going to do without killing myself here is I'm going to plug this end in. Try not to touch this. All right, so it's working. Okay, so that's how it works. All right, so that's how you would take it apart and put it back together. Like I said, it wasn't making any noise. It wasn't pumping any water. It used to make a noise like this, but as of yesterday, it was making no noise, and there was a very little bit of water coming out, and the solenoid was clicking, so I could hear the solenoid clicking. I could see a little bit of water going into the chamber, but not nearly enough, and it wasn't making that pumping noise. So, like I said, I ordered another one, but taking it apart, you can get it to work again, if you're lucky. So, I'm lucky, I got it to work, but I'm gonna save this as an extra. I'm gonna install the new one. But anyway. And it's a rarity, at least for me, to be able to see inside this thing. I took the water reservoir off. All right, so let me just explain what you're looking at underneath here. So this right here is the dryer pump, okay? As this spins, it pumps air into it, and then the air goes out over here. These connections have little olives. They're all compression fittings. 1, 2, 3, and I believe the fourth one in the back. All 4 of those go into the water reservoir. Okay, so the water reservoir underneath, one fitting goes under here, down there. On the side, let me see. These 2 over here, 1 and 2, go to, I guess, a fill. This one goes into the coil thing down there. This one over here goes into the pressure relief valve in there, and the whole pressurization. This is where the pressure. This one's coming right out of the chamber itself. So I guess this is where you get the high pressure venting out of here. Okay. These 2 things right here, these 2 red things, go to, I crimped a connector onto the end here, but this is the low water switch inside of there. I don't know if you could see it. The white thing all the way down there. So that's a low water switch. There, the water pump is what was broken on this. The water pump sits down underneath this entire thing, and this is why I had to take this reservoir out. Oh, to get the reservoir out was a real pain in the behind. So on this side, it was just a screw on this side, fairly easy, right? So there's the screw on this side. On this side, it was right up against the chamber here. Theoretically, you'd have to take the chamber out to get to the other screw. But I was able to have somebody with very small hands take it out. And what I did was I bought a bolt and I cut it down. So now, hopefully when I put it back, I'm just going to put it right over here with just a little wrench, and hopefully I don't have to go straight in like a screwdriver. I can just attach it that way, as long as I don't drop it. In terms of connections, this water connection right here is for the water pump. That's the inlet. Okay. This other end of the inlet goes to the bottom of this. So the water comes out of right there, feeds into here, and goes into the pump. The pump pumps the water through this other rubber hose down here and into the back. They're held on by zip ties. The capacitor and the power are together on a dual, I don't know if you can see that, a dual thing, a dual connector for each one of these. So this sits this way all the way on the bottom. One end goes in here, the other end goes through there. So that rubber is what it keeps it from vibrating. But in my case, it vibrates, the mounts are not so good, so it hits along the bottom and it makes a racket. What I might do is put something underneath so it doesn't hit the metal. And at the end of this here, there was a T or an L, like so. Watch. I might put a little bit of some PFTE sealant. So this goes like this, and then the rubber tubing comes out here. And that's it. There are a bunch of magnetic solenoids. Look like this. Look like this. Here's the electric piece for the solenoid that attaches to the water pump. Not the water pump. Attaches to the reservoir. That's it. Let's connect this and thread this through. Not a lot of room in here. Come on, fucker. I was able to attach the back one with a ton of difficulty. I had to take this copper pipe out to get my hand in there to start that bolt down there. I replaced the screw of the bolt. My first error here was this thing down here, this piece of copper has to go underneath the water pump. If I can, is I'm going to put this copper back in here. Okay, let's see if I can get this over here. This is just the worst. I can't see a damn thing. Can't see a thing, man. Okay. All right. And make sure the copper doesn't touch. That's tight. That's tight. All right. Okay, let's see what happens here. I should have left the cover off, the lid off in case it leaks, but I don't care. Please pump up, okay?